One of the more radical ideas put forward in the Constitution was that of a nationwide census. Each citizen was to be counted every 10 years, and representatives to Congress would be apportioned according to the population of each district. This system was fundamental to the one-man, one-vote concept of democracy. The first census conducted by Thomas Jefferson counted almost 4 million people. But counting everyone proved to be an impossible undertaking, and many people were missed. The census has been taken every 10 years since then, and overall accuracy has been improving.
Good evening, gentlemen.
Who is it?
I'm the official census taker. Do you mind?
But as this 1960 film illustrates, there have always been certain segments of the population who are difficult to count.
Now beat it.
Gentlemen, the law requires that every person be enumerated at least once every 10 years.
Barbara Baylor is committed to making sure the census counts everyone. She is former head of statistical research at the Census Bureau and is now executive director of the American Statistical Association.
The undercount problem, though, was recognized very early in the census. In fact, George Washington recognized that there was an undercount problem in the very first census. It was not ever really seen as a real difficult problem as long as it was thought that everyone was undercounted at the same rate. It was found then when we got more sophisticated statistical techniques that the undercount was not uniform, that it was primarily in the minority communities.
The undercount in the last census ran about 6% for minorities, that is blacks, Hispanics, and Asians, and less than 1% for whites. We're talking about hundreds of thousands of people. And so we have to truly understand that the undercount cuts in to participation at the in the political process of minorities, because if the count is not right and we lose them, then we're losing representation.
In addition to representation, minority communities are also losing their fair share of the more than $30 billion in federal funds granted on the basis of census data, funds that are used for social services, for community infrastructure, for hospitals and schools.
There are lots of reasons why it's difficult to count minorities. One is the census procedures themselves are devised by people more or less like myself, middle-class people who think about other people living in similar circumstances. It's very hard to think about the homeless and how they might be counted, and we know we don't do well with the homeless. There are people who do not want to be counted. People who are in the country illegally cannot see that, even though they're promised confidentiality, that the Census Bureau won't turn around and give that information to the Immigration Service.
And then the last set of reasons is just apathy. They have been promised many things by the government in the past. Some of them have not happened. They're turned off a bit to society, and they're really not moved by another government agency coming out there and saying, we're here to do something good for you. Those are difficult things to overcome.
Stand right up for who you are. Stand up right now. Stand up and be counted.
Barbara Baylor and other experts have proposed statistical adjustments to correct the undercount. But for now, the Census Bureau will continue to rely on community outreach in attempting to achieve the goal of the Founding Fathers: full representation for everyone in the nation.
Answer the census, we're counting on you.